Hi, welcome back to the Octopus Ukulele Academy with me, Andy Eastwood. Today's question comes from Sue Saunders. She says, "Hi Andy, how can I take care of my ukulele and how often should I change the strings?" Great question, Sue. Stick around, I'll do my best to answer it. Let's take the second part of the question first. How often should you change your strings? Well, there's no answer to how often because there is no time limit on them. They'll last for ages if you don't use them. The point is, it's all about how much you play and how hard you play. So there are two ways to tell when they need changing, by ear and by eye. Okay, now I usually tell by ear first because when I'm tuning them, I find, oh, this is taking a little longer to get in tune than it should. This string doesn't feel like it wants to hold its pitch. And then I look at it and I say, oh yeah, it's wearing a little bit thin. Now I've got a pretty good ear, it's well trained, okay? If you're not quite so used to hearing pitches accurately, make a point of doing a visual check. If you see they're looking a little worn, change them. And in time, you'll get used to how long your strings are lasting with your playing, and you can anticipate that. And if you've got a concert coming up or something, you can preempt it, maybe change them a week or two before the concert. But it should last quite a long time. The ukes I use a lot, tend to change the strings every 6 months. Ones that just come out occasionally for a little tinkle, maybe a few years. The other thing Sue asked is, how should I take care of my ukulele? I love this topic because in today's modern world, we think of so many things as disposable. We buy computers, cars, appliances, and expect them to last a few years before we trade them in. It doesn't have to be this way with a stringed instrument. If you look after it well, a ukulele will last you literally a lifetime. Let me show you something. Here is the very oldest instrument I own. It's my violin, made in Geneva in 1828. It's nearly 200 years old, going strong, sounds fantastic. Now, here's the newest instrument I have, a brand new octopus soprano sent to me just last week by the guys at Octopus Ukuleles for me to do a review. Here's the thing, there is no reason whatsoever why this uke shouldn't still be going strong in 200 years' time, if it's well looked after. They do last, it's built to last, and it will never let you down if you take care of it. Now, there's some wear and tear that's inevitable, of course. The point where you strum the uke, it will get worn a little bit, but in 30 odd years of playing, I've only once ever seen a uke that someone actually wore a hole in. And do you know what? It still sounded okay. The most common thing you see on older instruments is the fingerboard starts to get little notches in it if it gets worn by fingernails. Now, the fleshy, soft part of your finger will never wear it away. It's the nails that do that, so keep them short. You may say, oh, I don't care if there's little dents in the fingerboard. Here's the thing, the nails, if they're too long, will also prevent you from pressing the strings down properly. So do keep those fingernails a little bit shorter on the fingering hand, okay? The most important thing is be careful with it. And people who play very expensive instruments, professional musicians, for instance, often set themselves some ground rules or habits for their behavior that they get into. For instance, there's a slogan, hands, stand, case. In other words, the ukulele doesn't go anywhere else. It's either in your hands, it's on its stand, it's in the case. You don't put it anywhere else, okay? You don't put it on the floor. You may say, I know it's there, I won't stand on it. Then someone else walks in the room, stands on it. Don't wait, here's the wisdom, don't wait for the accident to happen to set the rules, okay? Get into the habits first and the accident will never happen. There may be variations to that as well as hand, stand, case. You could have a shelf, you put it on a hanger, whatever it is. Just have places where it goes and places where it doesn't go. The other things that can damage it are heat and humidity. Don't put it in a window with direct sunlight. Don't leave it in the car with the sun blazing down on it. Humidity isn't really a problem for us here in the UK. Some parts of the world have troubles. I know a guy in the Philippines who has a lot of trouble with things getting too damp. I went to Finland and everybody over there has a humidifier in the case because the atmosphere is very dry. But here in the UK, we're pretty lucky. We don't have to worry about that too much. Obviously, if you leave it in the garden shed over the winter, it will get damp. But just be sensible. Don't put it by a radiator where it's going to get too hot. Just keep it in a nice sort of temperature that you would like to be in. Normal room temperature will keep it nice and safe. The other thing, of course, is travelling. Do consider a hard case if you're doing any serious travelling with it. Soft gig bags are okay for day-to-day storage, but never, never, never put it in the hold of an aeroplane without a hard case. You're saying goodbye to it. So do consider a good case for travelling. Apart from that, it won't let you down. Just look after it like you would a very low maintenance pet.